Okay, so 26-foot super mover with the U-Haul auto transport. We have to figure out what cars go up first. And since we have the Overcrest Rally coming up, we can't take Kayla's 944 yet. There's a couple months left up here, so I'm gonna continue working on the 1000 SP. And the Corvair is still like a driver, so would like to keep that here as well to cruise around with if I want to. So that leaves the Fastback and the white Corvair going up first. 7 Series is actually going back to California. Sutton's gonna fly in here before the Overcrest Rally and drive that on the rally and take it back to California. More on that probably in an upcoming episode. So I think we're going home with the white Corvair first. I've got the trailer backed around to where we can easily push this to line it up to the trailer. I think what I'm gonna do is I have the winch mounted in the trailer hitch of the truck, and I'm going to snatch block to this D-ring right here. And this D-ring is welded to the tongue, so this is more than enough of an anchor point. I'll put my snatch block here, and we'll ultimately run the cable out to the front of the Corvair, so when we pull, we'll just pull the Corvair right up to us on the trailer. All right, the white Corvair is loaded up and strapped down. One car ready to make the haul up. This is a big episode. I'm originally from New Hampshire, and 3 years ago this summer, I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee to basically get some relief from the Northeast winters. My friend Andy offered me his shop house to rent. It's come on down type deal. So I moved 1,000 miles south after working out of my father's shop, knowing that my time there would be temporary at best. So after 3 years, some stars have aligned kind of last second, and we have kind of gone full throttle in moving back to New Hampshire. I am standing here right now in New Hampshire, 10 minutes away from my hometown of Meredith, but we're in the middle of making numerous runs up from Chattanooga. It's about 1,000 miles to this spot. Now this is exciting. I want to show you guys where we're going to be living and where the new shop is going to be. Kayla actually found this place online for sale and knew that my good friend Ross, who owns a car dealership, who she's been working for remotely, has been looking for a place to house his pretty vast Volkswagen collection. He's got between 50 and 60 rare Volkswagens in a collection that he has sprawled out all over the place. So all these years he's been waiting to find a place where he can house all the cars under one roof or many roofs on the same piece of property. And it's even got enough space on it where we will have a house to live in and a shop to work out of on the property, as well as Ross housing his whole collection. Behind me, behind you, is our new spot. Beautiful spot here. We've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, old farmhouse, but renovated and comfortable. And as you can see, we have buildings. Now I need to remind you guys, this is not my spot. I did not have the money waiting to purchase a place like this. But original farmhouse, obviously has a barn on site, and those are obviously the 2 first structures on site. You can tell that they've built on afterwards. And indeed, the guy who sold this place actually had a car collection, and I think they said he had like 56 cars underneath all these roofs here when he was selling the place. So although this place looks absolutely nuts, and the barn is 2 floors, we'll go inside and show you guys everything. This right here will be the new Ludwick's garage temporarily. It's not going to be the end-all garage. You know, my dream is to purchase my parents' old property, the property I grew up on, and build a shop on it. But that is more doable now that we are going to be 10 minutes away from where I grew up and where my parents currently live, where the bus is, and where my 52 Chevy Cabover is, as well as a few other projects. We're gonna be working on the Cabover, we're gonna be working on the bus, as well as all the cars that you've seen regularly on the channel as of late. We have a 2-bay garage down here that we're going to be working out of. It's got a compressor room with a compressor in it. It's got 220 power already wired up. It doesn't have a lift yet, so we're going to be working on that. And all the buildings are connected, like all the way. This building runs to the bottom floor under the barn. And then we've got 4 car storage up here, which was more or less for, you know, your daily drivers. We have a circular driveway, essentially. We've got a driveway that comes in down here off the road. Now this is quiet territory out here. It's really not that loud. There is traffic, but we're kind of in farm country out here, which is amazing. Similar to where I grew up. So we've got an access road here. We'll walk down this shortly. This goes to the long building here. There's an overhead door behind the shop. You come up the driveway here, up the right side of the house, and you're greeted by the main door for the barn. There's an overhead door out the back side of the barn as well. Has a full basement here. I'll probably have my laser shop set up in the basement. Since I am moving into a smaller square footage shop, I won't have all the space I have currently in Tennessee. So we're going to put the laser machine in the basement here. I'll be able to do all my commission work down there, but also continue to do all of my pre-pro fabrication stuff on the laser out of cardboard, poster board, all that, from just a quick hop skip away across the yard from the shop. 1 bay, but 2 car, and then 2 single bays, 2 car. And there's an interior wall between these. And up here is more level, upper driveway. We've got some construction going on out back here right now. So the boys, friends of Ross, have a mini excavator back there. So they've dropped the trailer here for now. But here's the back side of the house. Well, technically the front side of the house. This is technically the front door, even though the back door is what we'd be using regularly. Look at the foliage, guys. This is what I missed about New Hampshire. Just green grass, clear air, maple trees. So Ross is going to leave an ample mower to take care of all the grass, and since he owns a car dealership, he's going to drop a plow truck off here in the winter too, so I can plow everything. Because in New Hampshire, central New Hampshire, we get dumped on all winter long. So having a plow truck to take care of this whole property is going to be key. The boys just left now. They put a brand new door in here with a keypad, outdoor lighting, rewiring this entire building in here with new lights, outlets, all that. They're going to be working in the shop tomorrow, which is why I'm kind of filming now. Going to have some new outside lights here. Come around up behind the building, get some windows in the back of the building. And actually this middle piece here, I'm going to have as well. And I'll talk to you guys more about that once we go inside. And here's the actual entrance to the car storage aspect of the buildings. And look at this, guys. Look at that. New Hampshire sunset. Man, it's good to be back. I say that now. I know once the snow falls, I might sorely be missing southern Tennessee. And we've got an overhead door here in the back of the barn as well for the upper level. It is lots of space, but out here, man, west, just sunsets here are going to be amazing. Views of some mountains, you know, New Hampshire stuff. You can see the colors too. I don't know if it comes through on camera, but you can see the colors in the hills now. So we've just made the first of a few 1,000-mile hauls up from Chattanooga, Tennessee. We unloaded the truck, got the house filled with all of our stuff.
Welcome to my farm.
What animals are coming?
To the property?
Yeah, so
Definitely some chickens. Definitely chickens.
no roosters.
We've got roosters across the street. We don't need our own. We're good with that. That's a good distance.
There's chickens, ducks, horses,
Turkeys.
turkeys, all sorts of livestock literally across the street.
Guinea hens.
So Kayla's pretty happy about that. All right, guys, good morning. It's the next day. We've unpacked the entire U-Haul truck. Ross is having all sorts of people here. We have drainage going on out back with excavation. We have electricians here. We just had garage door guys here yesterday. So let's finally give you guys a tour of the inside of this place. Also over here two more of Ross's rigs. Volkswagen Rialta and a Euro spec TDI manual Eurovan. All right, guys, here we go. She's old, but she'll do. Now, obviously, the first thing you can probably notice is the fact that we are not working with a singular level floor in here, which is unfortunate, but we can work with it. This bay here is about 10 inches, 9 to 10 inches down. If you know anything about New Hampshire, you know that this place is the granite state, and there is ledge and rock everywhere in the ground here. And I think when they built this place, they were dealing with lots of that ledge and rock. There's rock everywhere here. So this is like not ideal, but the idea is this will be the lift bay because this gives us our most overhead ceiling space. So this door here had a center overhead motor, as you can see right there. But from this floor to the ceiling, we're only at 11 foot 4 inches. So we do not have enough overhead height, even without the motor there, for a typical 12 foot 2-post overhead lift. Now that is the issue I ran into with my shop in Chattanooga. The overhead trusses were 11 foot 6, which is why I ended up with my Bend Pack Grand Prix 7LC lift, which is a 2-post overhead 7,000 pound lift that is a 10 footer. So you can fit it in spaces that are sub 12 foot. For someone who has low cars, a floor crossover 2-post lift is just not in the question. It's better than nothing, but not in the question. I need flat floor. And Ross was nice enough to pull the trigger on some side motors. And we even put one over here on this door too, which is amazing. This was a manual door until yesterday. And that gives us the overhead space, all the overhead space we need or that we can use if we put a 2-post lift right here. My father's actually on his way over now with his work trailer. He's got like a job trailer with a lot of woodworking and tools and all sorts of stuff. And we're gonna be working on tidying this place up a little bit before I go back to Tennessee to ultimately make another run up here with stuff. So I think what we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna get up in here through the scuttle and see how much space we have up top, because we might actually entertain the idea of cathedraling the ceiling and putting a 12-foot lift up into the space between the trusses. There's an HVAC unit on the wall already, so we have heat and AC in here, which is incredible. This is early October in New Hampshire, so by the time I moved in here, we're gonna be well in the winter. So we're gonna find out how well that thing works and just how well this place is insulated. No smoking. No smoking. I don't understand some people. Why would you write this on the wall? And why would it look like that? We have a compressor room back here, which is actually pretty cool. It won't take up floor space in the shop. This was a furnace room originally. Little commode. That is gross. I mean, it's cool that they put a toilet in here at one point, but no. No. We'll be pulling that out. Old sink here too. We have more storage here, but like a 2-foot step down, 2.5 feet maybe. Treacherous. I'll probably put a couple stairs there, because if it's at night and it's dark in here, like, you will go for a fall in there. But we've got some storage space in here. This is not insulated. Got another window. A lot of stuff that just needs to be torn out, cleaned up. So we've got some storage here, compressor room here. And you can tell that that floor doesn't go all the way to the back wall step down. So we're gonna be real confined to where we can put a lift in here. Motors are so quiet. Don't have much lighting in here yet, so that's another thing I'm gonna have to take care of sooner than later. This is really all we have for lighting in here. That guy, that's it. So overall in here, we're about 27 feet deep by 29 feet wide, which is really just over 780 square feet. So it's not that big. I think the shop in Chattanooga right now is like 1,500 square feet, maybe even a little bit bigger. I think it's like 1,600 square feet. So we're downsizing in size. We've got the compressor room in the back, and we also have this door. Now, this is where Ross has worked with me a bunch, getting this place purchased and worked on. Through this door, we have basically like a hallway. We have a connection building. They basically connected the shop here on the end to the long building that goes underneath the barn. So in this crossover here, we don't just have a hallway, but we have an extra room in here too. We have a couple stairs as soon as you come in, straight to that door, which goes into the long building. But over here, we've got quite a bit of space in here. Now, one wall is insulated because the shop is insulated. But as you can see some daylight out there. And no insulation on the ceiling or the other 3 walls, technically. But this room in here is ultimately gonna be my dirty room, I think. I think this is where we're gonna put the CNC plasma table, insulate it, sheetrock it, welding table, grinders, make it my dirty room so nothing gets, caked on all the cars. And the plan is I think even today, maybe in this episode, we're gonna take this interior wall out altogether. I'm gonna take this wood and metal hybrid shelf out. We're gonna clean up a lot of this stuff. It's just an old barn garage. Take this whole wall out and open this all up. So when you come in here, this is all one room. And through this door is the main part of why Ross bought this place. Look at this. Now this was a dairy farm originally, and so these were the cattle stalls in here, which is why we have these angles and it's not flat floor. Because this is where you would come in with your tractor and scoop up all the manure, and that goes to out back, but this is where you'd come in. Obviously this is the hallway to my shop. And since Ross collects Volkswagens, we are going to be stacking so many in here. They've been going through adding new lights and new outlets. This is all brand new. All the outlets for the battery tenders. Such a big space. I couldn't even tell you the square footage. I don't even know what the square footage is. Added a new man door here. This goes out to where we're looking at the shop again, and we're looking up at the house and east. Beautiful autumn New Hampshire morning this morning. Overhead door down through the long section of the building, and now we're getting under the barn. And again, with some small Volkswagens, we should be able to get up in here okay, put a car in here, and maybe a couple stacked there, and we'll have enough room to pull down through here as well. This will all be new lighting. We haven't finished any of this stuff yet, but we'll be able to come straight down here, make this turn, and actually tuck some cars in here too, which is amazing. So much space. We've got some added supports here. It's an old barn. They're gonna dry lock all this. It was a little wet. They did a whole bunch of drainage work outside the barn, and they're gonna dry lock it. This here could be framed in. This is all new concrete in here. You can't get a car in here, but this could be used for storage of some kind. We can head straight up into the barn via the stairs, the old stairs. And now, upstairs barn. Overhead door with a new motor on it is open. So now up by the house and the shop. And a good old New Hampshire barn, which we will also have cars in. And honestly, hopefully have enough room left over for a few of my cars. Since I'm going into a much smaller shop, I'm hoping that once we get all of Ross's cars in here, there's room for 3 or 4 of my cars undercover because New Hampshire winter is coming. But lots of space for storage. We've got so much overhead space. What a place. These old barns are so cool. Just the amount of effort to build them in the first place. All right, well, my father's here with his trailer set up, trying to get a look at what we have going on overhead for lift space. All right, so while my father is here, kind of taking a look at what kind of space we have over there for the lift, I'm gonna work on pulling some of this stuff out. Previous owner of the place was a drag racer and raced cars. And although they took everything out of here, we found this cool 1988 yearbook of Oxford Plains Speedway. And that's in Maine. So that's pretty cool. Little piece of New England race history. All right, well, we've got most of the work done that I have time to do on this trip. We worked for a couple hours getting all of this cleaned out. So we've taken basically from here over of this wall out, including shelving unit here, a long shelving unit there, pulled all the insulation out. There was a shelving unit here that we pulled out, kind of cleaned everything up. But it turns out these rafters or these joists do not go all the way to that exterior wall. So this is, for right now, a load-bearing wall. On my next visit up, we're gonna put a strong header all the way across so we can open this all up. So we'll take all this out, we'll take those cinder blocks out on the bottom. I think there was some sort of washroom in here because this whole floor slopes all the way to that drain, which is a nightmare for someone like me who wants to put fixtures and tables and workbenches in here. For now, this is where we're leaving it, but we've got some work done, which is great. We've got a whole pile of debris. This is everything that came out of here. So pretty eager to see this thing when it's done. Insulated door there, so we can keep all the heat in here. And we did take some measurements, and wouldn't you know it, yet again, in the second shop in a row, we don't have 12 feet overhead, nor do we have enough to put the lift up into the rafters because of the angle of the roof over here. So unfortunately, we are yet again bound to the 10-foot bend pack lift that I currently have in my shop if we don't do a floor crossover, which I said before I'm not doing. So I have to decide if I'm tearing my lift down and hauling it up here, which is logistics, or if Ross is willing to buy one that just stays here. I've yet to cross that bridge, so we'll figure that out. But huge thanks to my father for helping out already. Have plenty of painting to do. Huge news, huge step. Coming back to New Hampshire into a really cool spot. Going to be surrounded by cool cars. Excited to be around Ross's cars again. I'm sure you'll see plenty of those on the channel. Both just a walk around his car collection, but also some of the cars that I'll probably acquire and perhaps put on the channel as some cool series for some rare Volkswagens. So that's going to do it for this episode. We have a plane to catch. We've got to get back to Chattanooga, get back to work, more work on the 1000 SP. We've got the Overcrest Rally in just a few days. We're heading to Arkansas, going on the Overcrest Rally through the Ozark Mountains, which I'm super excited about. It's been shoehorned into this insane life move, and shop infrastructure move. So we got a lot on our plate. The next couple of months are going to be jam-packed, crazy travel, and yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I'm excited to build this place out and start building cars in here and making some episodes out of the central New Hampshire area. Bus and cab over content coming soon. I'll be 10 minutes away from my dad's shop. So that's also something I'm super excited about. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for subscribing. We will see you guys in the next episode, soon coming from New Hampshire.